Hi guys, and welcome to my podcast, Coffee with Rogue. This is where I get together with my fellow creators and take a sneak peek behind the scenes on their lives and how content creation affects them. So, let's meet our guests. My first guest is an amazing friend of mine. We have been friends for such a long time on Twitch. She is a Twitch affiliate, dog mama, D&D nerds, and she is just a huge advocate for comfy spaces. So please welcome my first guest, Amali Rae. So, welcome to my podcast. You're my very first guest.
I'm honored.
Aw, I had to have my first few guests definitely had to be friends of mine, and you were definitely on top of my list. So I wanted to talk and get everyone get to know Miss Amali Rae. So, this is a little bit of conversation I wanted to have with you, mostly about, streaming, how streaming has impacted you, how you feel about it and the whole journey, and how life entangles in it as well. I think that we have so many conversations about these kind of things in the background, but I want to be able to bring some of it to the surface because it's good to get to know people behind the content creator, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And for me, in terms of you, you're my friend. You've been my friend for years now. Oh my
Long
god,
time.
we can say that
before you started streaming.
Holy crap! Yeah, that's true. Oh my god.
Long time.
I remember the first time I saw you in chat. It was in Hoopo's chat.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And I was like, who is this Amali? You were really happy and everybody was really excited to see you. I was like, who is this person? And I instantly, at first I thought you didn't like me. Because I don't know, I was I was there, I was trying to be everyone's friend and stuff. And you were
wait, what did I do that made you think I didn't like you?
I don't know. I get nervous sometimes when I meet new people and everyone likes them. I'm like, oh, I have to impress this person.
I'm always like, oh, they don't like me. I just assume people don't like me.
Same. It's
all the time.
Same. It's actually I wish I wasn't like that, and I bet you probably feel that way too.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of it gives you too much anxiety.
Yep.
Absolutely, it gives you too much anxiety. But yeah, I remember the first time I met you. I met you online. I more mean because I have met you IRL now, which was amazing. Yay! It was so good to see you at TwitchCon, and hopefully,
oh my gosh,
hopefully we get to do that again in the future.
Yeah. Are you planning to go next year?
I hope so. I hope
see what the state of the world is at that point, but
yeah, because oh my goodness, this is what we're in the middle of 2021, which I keep forgetting. I keep thinking it's 2022.
Yeah.
And then in one other day, I'm thinking it's 2020. I don't know why. The concept of time, I don't know if it's the same for you, but as a content creator, I feel like I lose the concept of time.
I never know what day it is anymore. I just, what month, what year, especially the day though. I always have to look at my watch, what day is it today? I have no clue.
Do you know, I have a theory as to why we think that. I think it's because in a normal job, you look forward to your days off, and which for most people is your classic 9 to 5 you're working, so it's the weekend.
Yes.
Whereas for content creators, you're usually doing that work 7 days a week. Even if you're not creating content, you're being a community manager or social media manager, you're doing your own marketing. There's a bunch of work that goes into being a content creator.
Yeah. When I stopped working a normal job, that's when I lost all sense of time. Because it was all based off I was working 8 to 4 every day.
Yeah. And
so off Saturday, Sunday. That helps. That routine helps you keep track of time. And then you become a content creator and suddenly there's no real routine anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite jarring in a way. Do you miss having that kind of a job?
No. Only because I'm actually a very routine person. If my day-to-day routine gets messed up, I'm so confused.
Right.
For 5 days. But I don't miss it only because my last job was one of those jobs where I left crying every day.
Yeah, I remember you
So
saying.
it's like, yeah, I'm a lot happier doing content creation now, even if it's something that's very stressful at times. It's not the kind of stress that I dealt with at like my 9-to-5 job.
Yes,
So.
it's a very different kind of stress for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, me and you both, we got into content creation around the same time. What was it that what made you decide to do it? Take the plunge?
So I was on Twitch for like about a year and a half, almost 2 years before I started streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I think. And for the longest time I was like, I don't think I could do that. I was like, I don't know. And then I just started making a lot of friends, and I was like, it'd be really fun to get all of these friends that I've made in one spot on Twitch. So I was like, you know what? I really want to stream. And for the longest time, like, I didn't have the proper technology to even like do simple streams.
Yeah.
Like, my graphics card was crappy, but eventually I got a new graphics card that allowed me to like do simple streams, and I was like, I'm just gonna try it, and it's gone really well. Like, I don't like talking about this part because a lot of people start off really slowly.
Yeah.
When they stream, like, they're really happy if they have like 10 people at their stream. But because I took the time to like make those friends, my stream started off really strong compared to some. And I think because of that, and like, I don't know, I just had a lot of fun. Like, I played Final Fantasy 14 and chatted with people. I was like, wait, this isn't that hard.
Yeah.
Which in hindsight it is hard, but the easy part is just being live and like chatting with your friends.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's one of those things. I think both of our journeys feel very similar in the sense of like how we started, because I remember when you first started, you hit the ground running really strongly. You had a wide variety of like friends, and it wasn't just connections, it was friends as well. Like, these people you got to know and you were really close to some of them, and you could see that you were starting to have fun and relaxing and getting into the groove and stuff, and that was really awesome to see. But yeah, like, we didn't start off at 0, which is where a lot of people do start, unfortunately. It's where the vast majority of people start off on Twitch, and it's
Most
a shame.
People... Yeah, that's why, like, anytime someone asks me for advice on streaming, the first thing I say is make friends.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably the most important thing to starting off streaming, is have some friends come by your stream. Like, I announced it a couple weeks before I started streaming even. It wasn't one of those things where I just pushed live randomly one day. I was like, I'm gonna plan it. It's gonna be a mess, but I'm gonna plan it anyway. And I don't know. It was just, I don't know. It was fun. I don't know.
What was your first stream like?
Kind of crazy. I pushed go live, and I did like the classic starting soon screen, and like, I don't know, picking inspiration from other streamers I watched, sort of, and like, I played Final Fantasy 14, and I just played an alt because I wanted to do stuff where I didn't have to feel tied to the game, and I could like actually look at chat without being too nervous. I was really nervous, but like, it almost felt natural right away.
Yeah?
I think it's just because I knew Twitch so well at that point. Like, from the viewer side of things, I knew it.
Yeah. And having your friends, like, having some friends there does make it a little bit more comfortable as well.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead.
No, it gets this, like, thinking about if you were to go live and a stranger comes into your channel, like, it would be so nerve-wracking. Obviously not now, but like, when you're first starting, it's really stressful.
It's scary.
So,
and like, in like face-to-face with people, I'm not entertaining. I'm like, I can be really like goofy with my friends face-to-face, but I'm actually like super introverted. But there's something about pushing go live like that just brings out that inner goofball.
That's cool though, right? Because that's like that's who you are.
Yeah,
I do think streaming does bring out a little bit more of who we really are, and it brings us out of our shell as well.
Yes.
I mean, do you find yourself changing over time with streaming?
I think so. One thing, like, after I had been streaming for a while, my husband even noticed. He's like, "You're happier." Like, that was even before I quit my job.
Mm-hmm.
He just like, you're happy doing this. And like, I was like, I think I actually found a hobby that I like, that I find joy in. I don't know, but it's like, I think it's made me a little more comfortable in my like friend groups off stream to be like, I don't know, a little more outgoing, I guess. I'm still very introverted, but I can be outgoing if I need to be.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I'm not afraid to like let my goofball side show a little bit more, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it completely makes sense.
I don't know.
You said like you find you think it's a hobby that you enjoy. Is it like a hobby for you? Is it just a hobby? Do you want it to be like a job?
At one point it was my job. I've been doing it very, very casually now. So it's like, just because of life this last year, I've kind of let streaming get kind of like pushed to the side a little bit so I could take care of like myself.
Yeah.
My like mental health and stuff like that. But it was, at one point, it was like my job. It's still my main source of income. Luckily, I can say that, and like, not everybody can make streaming their main source of income, but I'm lucky enough that like I'm not the only one that brings in money in my household.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for my husband and his job, like, I wouldn't be able to stream like I do and stuff. And I'm thankful for that, because I'd probably still be at the job that made me cry every day.
And nobody wants that.
No.
I mean, how does your husband feel about you being a content creator and doing this casually?
He's happy for me. Like, he's happy that I found something that I genuinely enjoy doing. And he's very understanding too, like, why I took a little bit of a step back from it. Like, I'm still streaming, just not doing it nearly as often as I was, and like, I'm working on getting back into doing it a little bit more full time now. I'm getting there. I just did that streamer thing where you're talking and then you completely forget what you're talking about.
I do that all the
time. I literally mid-sentence, I'm like, wait, what was I saying?
You were talking about how your husband feels about you streaming.
Yeah, he loves it. He, like, especially after I went full-time, he was like, I think he gets joy out of me finding my joy.
Yeah, seeing you happy makes him happy.
Yeah, and like, so like, when he sees me like getting down on myself, like focusing on the bad things that come with streaming, he's always like doing what he can to remind me of like why it makes me happy and why I actually like doing it. So like, I don't know, he's really supportive in it. I'm very thankful.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a strong network of people around you, and whether that people is just one person, it's good to have at least one, and it sounds like your husband's very supportive. I've met him and he's really sweet.
He is. In college, friends referred to him as Angel Butt Cheeks. That's still him.
Wow. That's adorable.
I know. But I have like friends here, like in my real life.
Yeah.
That like, when I talk about what I do, they're like, that is so cool. They might not completely understand it, but like they're very supportive in it too. So I'm thankful to have the friends that I do too. Like, they might not get it. They're not like as much of a gamer as I am.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they are, but they don't really understand Twitch.
Yeah.
Like, they're happy that I found something that makes me feel better than my old job, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
And what about like your family? So like your mom or your dad? Wait, when you explain Twitch to them, what do they say?
Well, I haven't explained Twitch to my dad.
Okay.
So there's that. My mom kind of just nods her head and like pretends she understands, but I don't think she does.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah. If I tried telling my dad what I do, like, I'm pretty sure my dad still thinks I do my old job.
Right.
I'm not very close to my parents, but he would probably like try to speak the devil out of me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know. My husband's side of the family, they don't understand it, but they support it and they're happy that I'm happy. So, like, they really don't understand video gaming for people.
Yeah.
And
that sounds awfully familiar for sure.
Yeah.
I know that with my family, they're kind of like, my granny especially is like, don't explain it to me. I'm never going to get it, so don't even waste your breath. I'm like, okay. And then my in-laws are like, yeah, well, you know, they're talking about gaming again. I'm just going to close my ears off. Okay. So it's parents and family are pretty interested when you tell them even just about gaming, never mind about Twitch.
Yeah. I like when they actually like come to me and ask questions about it though, because that at least shows they're interested in what I do.
Yeah, they're trying.
They're trying.
And that's the important part. We can only ask that they try.
Yeah.
Have you ever found that you have like friends who kind of jump on that bandwagon of streaming and then realize just how much work it is? You ever have that situation?
I have a couple friends who did start streaming after I did. They're not like, I think they kind of just do it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think they like try super hard with that. I don't know. I haven't really talked. They're not like super close friends, so they're not ones I really like sat down and talked too much about with. But I'll celebrate their little victories when they like got affiliate, and that's a big victory. I celebrate that with them and like stop by their streams and when I can and stuff like that. But no. Most of them just tell me they don't think they could do something like that, which is something I said, and then I tried it, and now look at me. So
yeah, and what is interesting because everyone can do it, but not everyone should, is how I always explain it to people. It's because everyone has the opportunity to do it and do it well, but you know, you realize that some people just they don't want to do it for fun and what they think they want to get into it for, like for the money, which very rare, let's be honest.
It's so inconsistent.
Yep.
Like 1 month can be really good, and then the next month can be like a pandemic happened.
Yep.
And nothing else. Like, you just don't count on it for money.
Yeah. So speaking about the pandemic, like how has the last year and a half been for you in terms of even just life and content creation in general?
Well, so when the pandemic first started, my stream was doing very, very well. And like I think after that happened, it was like it kind of got even better because more people were on Twitch because they were all working from home and like hanging out with streamers while working from home and stuff like that. But then like I didn't realize how much I missed going out and seeing friends until like I knew like I was spiraling down into like depression. And there are a lot of factors for that, but like pandemic I know had a big impact on that because like just the end of June this year we took our trip, like the first trip we took since the pandemic started. We went to see some friends that we haven't seen in like a long time, a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how much I needed that. So it's like, I felt so like, when I got home after that trip, I was like rejuvenated.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap, that pandemic has been doing a lot more to me than I realized. Because like, just not being able to like travel, go see friends, hang out with them whenever we want to. Like, I just, and I don't know, I'm a homebody. Like, I'm someone who loves staying at home. I'm fine, like, being an introvert, not going out and seeing friends every day, but I didn't realize how much I needed it sometimes until the pandemic happened.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. It's definitely been, for me, it's been a little different just because I'm at home anyway. So I don't really get out in general.
Yeah.
But even at that level, like I used to go out with my husband, would take me out every weekend and we'd go for dinner and, you know, get some fresh air or whatnot. And even not having that was like it really hits your mental health so much. Like just not having the ability to go pop over and see, you know, your favorite people it's really sad. And I think there's been like this huge increase in depression, especially amongst younger people because of the pandemic.
I think so.
Definitely hit us very hard.
Yeah.
But you had Lucy, your doggy, because you're a doggy mum.
Yeah, she's snoring away behind me, so I would have her come up here, but I'm like so thankful for her. Like, it's so silly to say that about an animal, but it's really not. If you're a dog or a cat or any kind of animal owner, you know, like they fill a void in your heart.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had a little void, a Lucy-shaped void in my heart until we got her.
Aw. I feel like we all have a Lucy-shaped heart. Or Lucy void heart, rather. I don't know.
Lucy-shaped hole in our hearts?
Yes.
Is that what we're saying? Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
She's sweet.
I don't know, there's just something about animals that are just, they're so loving.
Yeah.
Especially dogs.
Dogs are just, I'm a little biased, but I'm going to say it. Dogs are the best.
I'm
gonna get yelled at now.
I mean, you can probably tell I love cats, but I do think dogs are pretty damn cool, and I think they're dopey, but they're the best kind of dopey. They're just so full of love, and they just want
people to be happy. Yeah. That's all they want.
Exactly.
I like cats a lot too, but I'm severely allergic to them. So
that sucks.
That doesn't work.
Okay, how do we get around if I hug you at TwitchCon?
We'll be fine. I'll just take allergy pills.
You'll suffer it for me.
I will. It's worth it.
You're too kind. Oh my god. See, people will be able to tell that we're friends.
Yep.
Long time. How long have we known each other? Like 3, 4? It must be 4 years, considering how long it was before.
Well, you started streaming about a year before me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got to my 3-year anniversary of streaming.
Oh my god.
Probably like 5 years.
What?
Something like that.
It's definitely 4, maybe coming on to 5. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Time flies when you think about it.
It does. It's insane. So, speaking of time, like, and I think it's probably a good point to ask this question, considering what we're talking about, but like, how has your journey or partnership with Twitch affected you in the last year?
Well, not great.
I can tell.
Gosh, I'm a little frustrated with Twitch. So like, I unlocked the path to partner thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was in October of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for partner, and I was like doing real well, super consistent in my schedule, and like numbers were great, and like, you know, the community, like my community, the raiders, are fantastic, and it was like just hustling and bustling. And I applied, and you know how they're always like, could take a week to reply? That's
bullshit.
Bullshit. I literally waited 7 weeks for them to reply to my application, which was frustrating.
Yep.
And like, I was very consistent from the point that I applied up until about 6 weeks, and then I got really sick when I couldn't stream, and they just had to review my application in that week that I didn't stream.
Oh no.
And they replied to my application saying, we want consistency from our streamers. And I'm like, did you look at like the last few weeks since I applied for partner? Like,
God damn it.
And it's like, I was like, do you expect your streamers to be robots? Because I can't give that to you. Like, so that's just really frustrating to me. And then depression started. And then it all just kind of spiraled down from there. And now I'm not streaming nearly as much. And I'm really, like, I'm proud of myself because next week I have finally a scheduled therapist appointment.
Yo, well done. That's awesome.
And I've been putting that off for months. So I'm like, I'm working as best as I can to, like, get back to a point where I can, like, consistently stream again. But it's going to take some work.
Yeah.
And I gotta let go of my bitterness toward Twitch because I don't want, like, my community to suffer because of that. So I'm working on it.
Ah, man. It's so
partnership
crazy.
Can be, it can be a very negative process.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's that whole, like, imposter syndrome too, where you see people who have very similar goals to you achieving those goals way faster than you. So that it makes you think, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, it's just it's so frustrating.
It is. It's really, and it boggles my mind because me and you, again, another similar situation. It's like, and I can't help but think of, like, my own experience when you talk, because, like, it took, I think it was like 6 weeks for them to get back to me, and it was a decline. And then, like, it was consistent. I was sitting way above where I should have been. And then I think I got like 3 declines in a row. And then it wasn't until I went to TwitchCon and I was like, I'm going to go and speak to this help desk and see if, like, I'll chance it. And it just so happened, like, the guy that runs the partner team was there, and I was explaining it to him, and he's like, okay, email me. And I swear, if it hadn't been for my husband telling me to go speak to him, I don't think I would be partnered today. And when you
glad you did.
well, yeah. I mean, I'm glad I did too, but, like, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah.
But it wasn't worth the mental strain, like, that depressing, like, because afterwards, I almost had a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
And the depression just takes over.
A mental breakdown.
Yeah. And it's, I think a lot of people don't talk about this side of Twitch, especially with everything being so focused on the numbers, and their partner program. You have to hit those numbers for the most part. There are exceptions, of course, and they'll never tell you what those exceptions are, but we all know that there are. But that goal of trying to hit the 75 average on a regular basis, you're trying to hit those streams consistently, and all you're doing is you're dragging yourself down and you're wearing yourself out, and then that just leads to burnout.
Yep.
Which I think we both know all about. I mean, tell me about your experience with burnout.
Oh gosh. For me personally, burnout is like trying to keep up that, like, happy Amali appearance.
Yeah.
But also, like, trying to find games you want to play.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it for me is like, I want to be a variety streamer, but to get partnered, it's hard to become a partnered streamer if you're a variety streamer, because what one person likes to watch, someone else doesn't. So it's like, I don't know, it's hard. It's so hard. Like, I don't know, I don't like getting burnt out on the games that I love.
Mm-hmm.
And I seem to like burn out on the games that I love when I stream them.
Yes! Oh my god!
I don't know. Because, like, I can play Stardew off stream all day, every day, but if I stream it a lot, I start to burn out on it. It doesn't make sense.
I did. That happens to me with 14. That's a game I love. I've put so much time and effort into it. The second I started streaming it, it became a chore.
Yep.
And you're just like, dude, I love this game. What the hell is happening?
Yep.
And I actually find now that because I don't really care what games I play anymore, but like I'll just play games that I particularly am interested in, but like I'm not going to have this huge attachment to it. I'll keep those for like myself now.
Yeah.
Like I'll play games that I've got an interest in, but I'm not going to be like super bummed out if I stop playing one day or whatever. Because you know, keeping to a consistent game is hard because you have to find enjoyment in it every time you hit the go live button.
Yeah, it's like for me with Final Fantasy 14, I'm not like a raider. I don't do like the harder content. So literally every time I streamed it, all I really did were like daily roulettes.
Yep.
And the weekly like normal raids and stuff like that. And doing that every day gets really boring. So I got to a point where it's like, okay, I really want to do different content with Final Fantasy, but I don't really like doing the other content. So it's like, I'm going to switch games. And then you switch games and your viewer count is half of what it normally is. And it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
That's why it's like, when I get back into streaming, I'm going to try so hard to not focus on the numbers as much, which is really hard.
Yeah.
It's you say that you don't want to focus on the numbers, but it's really hard not to do that.
Yeah, and it really frustrates me. I get pissed off when I see these tweets. Don't focus on the numbers. You're more than the numbers. And I'm like, we know, we know this, but we can't help it because we're just human, and they're right in our faces. The thing that I like to do is like I'll customize my dashboard so that I don't see it.
Yeah, I hide my viewer count during stream now.
Yeah, I think
which helps.
Yeah.
And my follower count, because for a while my follower numbers were dropping. Like, I would get 10 follows per stream, but I would end stream with less followers.
Oh, really?
It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, wait, did a million people just unfollow me while I was streaming? Like, I don't know.
Oh,
so I don't look at that anymore either.
Yeah, I don't bother. I think that happened to me for a while, but I think it was because the way I explained it to myself, now whether this is true or not, is it was bots and they were getting cancelled or something.
I've said that to myself to make myself feel better too.
It's funny because we have to kind of like boost ourselves up sometimes before we get down that hole of, oh god, what are we doing wrong? And sometimes it's too late. Sometimes we're there and we need other people to pull us out. Which obviously your husband will do for you, as mine does for me. Thank God for husbands.
Good old Melon. Yes.
He's a good guy. And Polly, he's a good guy too. It's good. I'm glad
we got good ones.
We did. We got lucky. Well, they got lucky, really. Let's be honest.
That's true.
So let me talk about some of your high points. Like, you've done a lot of charity work in your streaming. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Like, who have you raised money for? Because you've done it for a couple of different charities.
Yeah, we did Trevor Project. We did it for Pride Month last year. We didn't do it this year. I was planning to, and then just life.
Yeah, of course.
But we raised just over $1,500 for Trevor Project last year.
Amazing.
And then one day, I don't remember what month we did it this year, but we raised money for Bill Project. And then just a couple of weeks ago, we raised money for Starlight Children's Foundation.
Yep.
And I've been wanting to do a lot more charity stuff too, because I feel like streaming for charity gives me a purpose other than just going live and playing a game. Like, I feel like it gives me a purpose. But it's also really hard because money is a difficult thing right now for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's like, I hate like begging people for money, even though it's to help a really great cause. I don't know. I like doing that though. It gives me a purpose, and I always end up with like end streams like crying because I'm like, oh, we did good things today, and like, and it's not like something selfish. It's something helping little kids get video games while they're in the hospital, and getting LGBTQIA plus community help when they need it, and it's just, that's a really cool purpose to have.
Yeah, for sure. I know exactly what you mean. And I don't know, the charity work that it comes with content creation, I never got into content creation for it, but it's a really nice thing to have like that. I know we do it to, some of us stream because we're lonely, some of us stream because we want to try and make it a job. Whatever people's reasons are, the minute you throw charity into it, it just becomes this really wholesome event that everybody loves. It's such a nice thing. Like, what's your,
really
have
cool.
you got any like favorite moments you've had from your charity streams?
Goodness. Whew. Well, with the last one, with Starlight Children's Foundation, I think my favorite part was like seeing some of my mods and some of my community members in chat just like, for the kids, and like promoting the charity in the chat to help. You know, like, it's just the community coming together to help raise money. Not if they can't give, they're like in chat helping promote it and stuff. I don't know. There's just like, I don't know. It's just the community that comes together for it, I think.
Yeah, everybody does their thing to help.
Yeah. And like, with Starlight, I had my first front page time slot.
How did it go?
Which was, it was so scary, but it was like, I thought it was gonna go a lot worse than it did, because immediately you think front page, oh, I'm gonna get a crap ton of trolls, but there weren't any trolls. Not one. I got really lucky. It was a 30-minute time slot, and like, I met a couple new people that still come back to my stream now because of the front page. But like, yeah, that was really scary. I just, like, one moment I had like 40 viewers, and then the next there were like 1,000.
It's a
like,
jump.
Was
that the highest you've ever had?
No. There was, so Avalon Star, like 2 weeks into streaming, 2 or 3 weeks into streaming, he got a raid just before he was about to raid me. And he ended up bringing like 2,500 people over on that raid, and suddenly, like, because I was like 2 weeks into streaming, like, ever.
Oh, wow.
And like, suddenly I look at my view count, and there's like 2,000 some people in there, and I'm like, where did all these people come from? I didn't even get an alert for the raid. Like, the alert broke.
Oh my god. So that's the very first raid you get is scary.
Yeah.
Did you find yourself like fumbling over your words and stuff?
I just kept laughing. I think I couldn't stop laughing because I didn't know what else to do. I was like, hi, I'm awkward. And then I just like, I just laughed. That's all I could do at that point.
It's, yeah. I mean, front page is one thing, because it just kind of happens. There's people that are organically just sitting on the homepage of Twitch that'll be there. But like, when you get raided, you're actually getting people in. And that can be scary. Like, I remember my first big raid was from Retro Gaijin.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, and I freaked out.
That's so cool.
I was like, what the fuck? It was so scary. But you're just like, okay, show goes on, kind of thing.
Water just splashed back at my face.
Alright. Hey.
I was like,
So, what is some of like, you've gone through a lot with streaming and content creation and stuff like that. Like, what is your focus now going forward into the end of 2021 into 2022?
I think my focus right now is to just be content, like not focus so much on what the numbers are, but just be content with who is there. Which I know people say that all the time. Is like, don't focus on the numbers, just look at who's in chat and give them all your attention. That's harder than it sounds.
Yep. Very hard. Especially if everyone's lurking.
Yeah. Because then you're just talking to yourself, which we love our lurkers. No, yes. Just don't feel bad for lurking. If you have to lurk, do it. Seriously, I'm a huge lurker. But like, yeah, I want to be content. I think it's just like, I always have at least one or two people that are chatting. I do have my quieter moments where chat's really not doing much at all, but like, I just want to be content with what I have, because if you're consistent in your streaming, you're gonna grow.
Yeah.
It might not be as fast as you want. I've done it before. I've gotten up to that average 75 viewers. It's like, I can do it again. I just want to do it naturally and still have fun. I want to like, that's my thing, is like, I just want to have fun while I'm streaming. If it's not fun, then why am I doing it? Because that's like, first and foremost, what streaming should be, is it should be fun.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, then it's why?
Yeah, no, 100%. Do you think that you'll keep going on with like gaming content, or do you think you'd move on to other kinds of content?
I don't know what other content I would do.
You like D&D, right? You're a big D&D nerd?
I was about to say, I've really gotten into D&D over the last couple of years. And it's like, I am too chicken to like DM it.
Oh, why? You could do it.
I don't know.
I think,
but it's like, I don't know. I want to do some kind of like D&D content. I just don't know what I would do at this point. I mean, I really like character creation, so I could even like go as far as just character creation and backstory creation on stream. I don't know.
Yeah, you could. You could maybe
That's
make
stuff
it.
I love doing.
Yeah, that you could like build a whole like lore backstory and stuff like with the setting of a game rather than actually like doing the game itself. That could work.
And it could lead into me finding some bravery, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I love D&D though, and I feel like I love that enough that I would love to incorporate it in my stream somehow. But I have to think about that, because sometimes that'll make you love that thing less.
Sure, there is always going to be that fear, especially when history tells us, you know, it will repeat itself. So, yeah, I know that fear very well.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of like one of the downsides of streaming and content creation. Yeah. You know, I mean, we've talked about a lot of kind of like the downside or the darker side even of like content creation, which is it's burnout, it's that really stressful journey to partner, it's depression, it's all these things that can really, really hit you hard. It's, what would be your tips to people that want to get into content creation? Knowing what you know now.
I would say, well, one thing, I already said it, is like make friends.
Yep.
Because having that support system behind you, whether it's people in your real life or people that you meet on Twitch, that's very important. Because like, I have a lot of people that I met before I started streaming, you for example, who are like still at my side regardless of like the fact that I've taken a break. And like, I'm just like, every time I go to stream now, I still have those people that come back regardless, and having those friends are very important. It's like, don't rush into streaming, rush into making friends. And then like, I think another thing, honestly, don't look at the numbers like everybody says. It's really hard, so if you do, I'm not going to blame you for it. And it's like, I'm not going to say like don't focus on the numbers, because it's hard not to. I would be a hypocrite if I said don't focus on the numbers, because even when I'm trying really hard not to, I still do. But make sure you're doing stuff that's fun for you, because having fun on stream is going to show. If you're streaming a game that's just popular but it's not necessarily fun, it's going to show that you're not having fun. That's why I still stream Stardew Valley all the time, even though it's not like the #1 game out there. It's a game that I love and I'm always going to love. And I have a lot of knowledge of the game that I can share with people. Like, find games that you love and you have knowledge, because you're going to have fun sharing that knowledge with other people who have questions about it. And I don't know. I think...
Yeah. And as a viewer, people love that as well.
Yep.
I was watching a stream the other day, actually, and the person I'd never played the game, but the person was so knowledgeable about it, and you could hear their passion, and it just made it really exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I got into Guild Wars 2, is because like Aurora Peachy, she has so much knowledge for that game and she loves it, and like she genuinely has so much fun streaming that game, and I'm like, she made the game look like fun to me, whereas like nobody else did before.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like one of my favorite MMOs for a long time.
You mean 14 isn't one of your favorite MMOs?
Okay. It is. I said one of. Nothing's going to replace 14 in my heart. I love Final Fantasy 14 so much, and I'm so excited for Endwalker.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait. It's like, oh my god, it's like, is it in the 40 days yet? Like 40 something days? I can't remember. It's really close. I'm like focusing on.
That's coming so fast.
I know. I'm trying to focus on October first before November. There's just so much happening right now.
I'm just so excited.
The story is gonna be so good. So, what is something, I guess, that you want people to know about you as a person? There, I'm gonna throw you in at the deep end.
I'm a nerd. Let's see. What I love making, this is so cliche, but I love making people smile and laugh. I think that's what streaming has been about for me since the beginning, is just making people smile and laugh, and if I do that, I feel successful.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not saying I'm good at those things, but I try. Oh gosh. I like to say I'm wholesome, but that's not always the case.
I think we both know that's a lie. I like to say I'm wholesome too, Amali. It's fine.
I say I'm wholesome, but sometimes, you know. Oh gosh, that's a hard question. I don't know. I'm just me. I talk a lot about dogs and food and Dungeons and Dragons and Stardew and Animal Crossing and Final Fantasy 14 and comfy stuff.
And coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah, can't forget the coffee.
I had my coffee out of my Rogue mug today.
I was so happy when you sent me that message. I was like, ah! Well, I would like people to know that you're a sweet bean, and I'm really happy we're friends. See?
Me too.
You can't back out of that now.
I wouldn't for anything.
Aw. It's funny because like talking about content and stuff like that and like people's journeys, like even me and you's like our friendship is like evolved over the years because of content creation. So. Like I think we're better friends now than we were at the beginning, for sure.
I think so.
And it's that I like that. That makes me happy because I know that I can talk to you, and like I have for me, I have a very small group of people that I can trust in content creation because it's a cutthroat world out there.
Yes.
So it's very important to lean on your friends, but obviously being aware, you know, of things that you say and stuff like that. You don't want to be bitching about the people to the wrong folk. That would be bad.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I don't know if I don't ever want to get into like personal stuff with people where they talk about, you know, certain situations if they don't want to, but I do think that I don't know, content creation and the world of trying to climb the ladder makes people do crazy things.
Nose is running, I'm sorry. It's true.
It's one of those things. It's like I'm genuinely grateful I have you as a friend. That's what I wanted to say.
I'm very grateful too. I'm glad that like we became friends before we both started streaming.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think it makes us more comfortable to be able to go to each other if we need someone to like vent to. I need to remember that too, because honestly, I hold a lot of stuff in when I shouldn't.
Same.
And like doing this little podcast with you actually helped me feel a little better. So it's like,
Yay!
I need to talk to Rogue about this stuff more often. So
yeah,
thank you.
Oh, thank you. It helped me too. Like, you know, you're right, because like I called it in a lot too. I think that a lot of us are guilty of doing that and not sharing. And all it does is it brings people closer together, I think.
Yep. So, I guess that would be another piece of advice is make sure you have someone you can talk to throughout your streaming journey.
Yes. Yes.
Because that is very important. Don't hold it in. Just don't. You'll feel better, I promise.
And getting your frustrations out lets you feel like the weight is lifted, and then the other person is like, you're doing great, don't worry, you got this, forget about the other people. That's what I find is like I'm now, I've got to the point which I never found myself getting to, was I don't give a shit as much anymore.
I feel like I'm getting there.
It's a journey, right? Especially because I would consider both of us as nice people. Like, we want to make people happy and we want everyone to get along with us. But there's those times where it can be difficult, whether that's, you know, through, you know, bad friendships or, you know, content creation getting in the way, though, that, like I said, that whole try to climb the ladder thing. There's a whole bunch of different things that go on. And people say, you know, you have to have a thick skin for this industry. You don't.
I don't.
You don't, because I don't, and Amali doesn't. I mean, you don't.
Do not.
But we do learn along the way. The more shit that hits our way, we do learn to give less of a shit, I guess. So I'm glad that you're kind of getting there, because I think I'm there, and it feels much better.
I hope to get there soon. Well, honestly, I feel like I am there now. Just not as much as I realize I am there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. It's a journey. It's definitely a journey, and it takes time. And I think obviously you said you booked with a therapist and stuff. I think that'll help a lot.
1 week from today.
Yes, and do you know what? Even that'll be a huge journey too.
Yes.
I've been seeing a coach since November last year, and I think about that, it's like almost a year. That's crazy. But the amount of growth in myself that I've found just being able to get these frustrations out and able to like say what it is that I feel and, you know, how it's affected me, and then that other person can go, okay, well, think about it this way, you know, giving you that other perspective. It's really important, and that's why we say, like, find someone to talk to. To have someone to support you.
Yeah, even if it's not a therapist.
Yeah, even if it's a friend or family member.
Friend. Talk to somebody.
Yeah.
If you're frustrated, talk to someone about it. Don't just hold on to it, because it's going to build up, and then you're just going to spiral down into a sad depression. Probably. Maybe not everybody, but...
Probably, though.
Yeah.
So what are the good things about content creation in your journey? Like, tell us the good things. Make us feel like we're not going to be depressed.
Yeah. I've had, like, the people who reach out to you to tell you they are thankful for your stream.
Oh,
like, gosh, you don't realize how much you can, like, help a person just by going live and being your nerdy self on the internet.
Yeah.
But it's like, it helps people realize they're not alone in that nerdiness. And it's like, that I think means so much to me. It's like the people who reach out and say, hey, thanks for doing what you do. thanks for going live today. Thanks for streaming. Even those little comments at the end of stream, thanks for streaming. I'm like, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, it means a lot. Like, you don't go live for the first time ever expecting like people to be thankful for you doing something like that.
Yeah.
But that means a lot to me. And like, I just love the, like, I've met a lot of friends since I started streaming. Like, people who randomly came into my stream because they wanted to watch someone play Final Fantasy 14, and now they're like some lifelong friends.
Oh.
Like,
yeah.
Like Midnight Lynx, she's one of my mods now, and she found my channel because she was in the Final Fantasy 14 directory, and now she's like one of my best friends for a long time, forever. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm thankful for like that opportunity. Like, I could have probably met some of these people if I had never gone live. I would have found them in someone else's stream, but like, my stream led me to these people. And then like, another thing is like seeing the friendships that started in my community too.
Yeah.
Like, even if I'm not directly involved in that friendship, I've seen relationships start.
Yeah.
And I've seen like best friends, or people become best friends because of meeting in my stream. Like, holy crap. That's just like that sappy kind of stuff. Like, oh,
yeah,
I helped with that. Like, you know, it's just, I don't know. I'm getting teary-eyed thinking about it, but I'm like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of friendships start from my community. I'm like, what?
Yeah. When you see that, it's nice when you see like other streaming communities kind of crossing over and friendship blossoming from that, and then they're in and out of both communities. It's kind of nice because you're like, you were like over there and you were separate, and now you are like, you are all talking, you are hanging out and stuff and playing games together. It's like, it's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had like a couple people even start streaming because they were inspired by me. And I'm like, I never thought I would be that streamer. Like, I have my streamers that inspired me to start. And now I'm that for someone else.
Yeah, it boggles the mind, hey? It's like,
So
can't believe it. I think I think a lot of it is to do with, you know, you're showing, you know, who you are, and you're showing that you are, you know, a community leader, and allowing them to have a safe environment to like foster those relationships together. I think, and whether that's, you know, friendships or relationships, or even if it's like, oh my god, I love this environment that you've created, I'm inspired to do that too. That's really cool. It's such a nice feeling. I'm glad that that's happened for you. I really am.
Thank you.
Oh,
so I never thought. So weird.
What is your plans for the rest of the year then?
Just to get better mentally, so that I can get back into streaming like I once was. That's really what I want. I'm hoping that like I can get back, like maybe by 2022 I can be back on that regular, like at least 3 days a week of streaming. I really want to get back to that because it's like, I love it and I love when I do it. I just have to find the like spoons, so to speak, to be able to do it. Because a lot of days I wake up and I don't really have any spoons.
Yeah.
You know the spoon theory?
Yeah, I use that quite often, especially when I'm talking to my own community. But for people that don't know, there's like a general amount of spoons we all have, and it's to do with like how much we can deal with in a day and how much energy we expend. So if you're dealing a lot with like depression and like mental anxiety or anything like that, like so any sort of, you know, strain, you have less spoons, and you end up usually in a situation where you gave out too many spoons, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'm in a situation where I can't get out of, or it feels that way at least. So yeah, I totally know what you mean. I mean, living with a disability, I feel like I have less spoons most days.
Yeah.
It's crazy, so I totally get what you mean. So if you ever hear people talk about spoons, that's what they're talking about.
I love this spoon theory. It makes so much sense. Ever since I learned about it, I use it all the time now.
I know, me too.
I was like, wow, that's a really great way to put it.
All right. So, wrapping things up, I'll let you have the last words.
Oh.
Where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/Amali Rae. I'm also Amali Rae on Twitter.
The Twitter.
That's about it. Amali Rae Twitch on Instagram, but I rarely post there, so don't bother.
The Twitter and the Twitch.
Yes.
Do you have a YouTube?
I do. I'm Amali Rae on YouTube, but that's not really. Don't bother with that right now.
You want to subscribe to her so that you can get it later. It's preparation for later.
That's Rogue knows.
Yeah, I'm in the know. I'm good. It was really amazing having you on. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you for asking me. I'm honored to be your first guest on your podcast. I'm looking forward to future ones with your future guests.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm glad you had fun. Thank you so much for being here.